Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to continue my vlog in the Alaskan cruise and mark my experience and excursions in the Skagway, Alaska. So travel with me. In this place, we had some really interesting experience in the White Pass Railroad. So for this port, the most popular excursions are with the White Pass Railroad. And there are two options basically. One is taking the round trip of 2.5 hours, and the other is longer, takes more than 8 hours all the way to Yukon and coming back. Previously, I recommend the excursions booked with individual seller or the vendor outside of the cruise line. For this excursion only, we feel so lucky to book it within the Princess Cruise Line, and I'll explain why. So for this 2.5-hour round trip with the White Pass Railroad, each of the adults cost $150 and each kid takes $90 per person. And we have to pass this tunnel to minimize the risk of the falling rocks. After 5 minutes walk, we hop on this shuttle, and it's taking us another 2 minutes to get to that rail station. Usually there are multiple cruise ships at the same part. And for this port, we just so envy the people from the Disney cruise because they're just right in front of the railroad station and they don't have to walk through the tunnel or even take the shuttle bus. So it will save them some time and it will be a nice walk out there under the sunlight. Just now, the train departed at 12 sharp.
That outlines our entire trip today, starting down at Skagway, Alaska. This is where our mechanics do all the work on our vintage fleet and keep everything running in tip-top shape. They maintain over 80 passenger cars, over 10 diesel electric engines, and 2 steam locomotives. They work tirelessly to ensure that you get to experience the railroad to its fullest. Yeah, of course, Let me take you back to the year of 1896. In the month of August, Skookum Jim, Dawson Charlie, George Carmack, and his wife Kate were up in the Klondike area of the Yukon when they discovered the gold that would change the course of history. The gold rush itself started innocently enough about a year later in July of 1897, once that gold found its way down to the west coast of the continental United States. 2 ships, the Portland and the Excelsior, docked in Seattle and San Francisco, carrying stacks of yellow metal. The news spread like wildfire nationwide, and at that point, the West Coast was delirious with gold rush fever, and the race to get up to the Klondike was on. Within days, thousands flocked to West Coast towns trying to book passage north. The fact that the Klondike was over 1,500 miles away and over a treacherous mountain pass would not deter many. Gold fever had taken hold, and everyone wanted a chance to try their luck in the new frontier. All due summer and on into the winter of 1897 and early 98, St. Peter's poured into the newly created tent and shack towns of Skagway and Dyea. Skagway, the head of the White Pass Trail, was founded by Captain William Moore. I'll tell you more about the White Pass Trail in a little while, but for now, I'll leave you with the beautiful views of the Tongass National Forest and the Skagway River. And folks, at this time, just as a reminder that there is absolutely no crossing from car to car, and if you're under the age of 16, you must be accompanied by a responsible adult when outside on the exterior platforms. With that being said, I have gotten word from our conductor that we have cleared city limits, so now you can go outside and enjoy that fresh southeast Alaskan air.
The beauty about this train is that we were able to stand in this conjunction and take clearer pictures, breathing fresh air, and better enjoy the breathtaking view. For this entire trip, the train is going to take us to the altitude of approximately 900 meters above the sea level. I always love this kind of slow train or old-fashioned trains, simply because it reminds me of my childhood when I followed my parents to their workplace when they built the railroads across China.
We're going to be coming up to two separate clearings. The first clearing will give you that fantastic view of Skagway. And as we go past the first clearing and into the second, don't forget to look over your left-hand shoulder for an excellent view of the Denver Valley with the Denver Bridge right in front of it, which we just crossed moments ago. In the beginning of the gold rush, the White Pass Railroad still didn't exist. Many entrepreneurs took note of the difficulties involved in reaching the gold fields. The largest obstacle was the journey over this here coastal mountain range, which is what you see all around you and will continue to see. Back then, the St. Peter's primarily used two trails to reach the gold fields up in the Yukon. There was the White Pass Trail, which started in Skagway, and there was the Chilkoot Trail, which started 9 miles west of Skagway in Dyea. Some St. Peter's chose the shorter but steeper Chilkoot Trail. Others chose the longer, less steep White Pass Trail, believing that pack animals could be used to carry their supplies, making the journey easier. But they were very wrong. As the trail wound its way through the mountains, it was bordered on one side by rock and dropped hundreds of feet down on the other. St. Peter's quickly realized that one wrong step could very well be their last. There ain't no choice, said an old-timer choosing between the Chilkoot and the White Pass. One leads to hell, the other to pure damnation. Teal Roof. This is our local IHOP, our International House of Passports. Yes, this is the U.S. Customs Building, and as I'm sure most of you have realized, we are not quite up at the summit where the border is. We're actually 12 miles from it. But since the summit does not provide adequate space or suitable weather for year-long living, the U.S. Customs decided to move their building 12 miles south, as Canada did roughly the same thing, moving there 7 miles north, which means there's about 20 miles of no man's land in between the two houses. Payroll, even if they had only worked a single day. Out of those, impressively enough, only 35 lost their lives, and a majority of that was due to disease. We're now coming up to the graveside of two unfortunate workers, Al Janot and Maurice Dunn, who were killed during a glass accident when a 500-ton boulder came down the mountainside. This huge chunk of granite fell right on top of those two workers, killing them instantly. Unable to retrieve the bodies, a simple black cross was placed on the boulder, and our foreman at the time, Michael Heaney, was quoted as having said, "No railroad worker could want a finer monument than that." We are approaching Cross Rock, and to view this, start looking sharply down on the left-hand side. Look for a small black cross with some golden flowers at the base. The entire triangular piece of ground that this cross sits on is that massive boulder that killed these two men in 1898.
We're almost climbing to the top. Now we're seeing more snow mountains. And we also see creeks, rivers, and springs. Wow, definitely better vision out here. believe we're on top of everything now. So this is pretty much the midway, and now we're just heading back to the starting point.
Those are the Chilkat mountain ranges, and they border our neighboring city, Cairns. And those are only viewable maybe a handful of times a season.
It's frozen, right?
About the wretched conditions along the trail and back to the beaches on Horn. Their hearts turned to stone, those that should have brave, and they became beasts, the men on the Dead Horse Trail. The inhumanity that this trail has witnessed, the heartbreak and suffering that so many experience cannot be imagined. However, we can't imagine how important the building of this railroad became when we take into consideration that the stampeders, the home miners, that for the most part consisted of people struggling through the Depression with dreams.
The water looks just so pure. Wow, don't you love this view in the summertime? I like how the water in the icy mountain turns out to be blue or even purplish. It kind of impressed me, the purity of this water.
and the Statue of Liberty. So, folks, we're truly riding amongst one of the greats.
There seems to be a big lake surrounded by the mountains. Now, I want to tell you why we had this interesting incident. On our way back, there is a train ahead of us which stopped in the midway and it's blocked the way. We were informed that they lost their mechanical power, so they cannot go anywhere. So the captain of our train decided to save that train first, and therefore we have to stay where we were for almost 2 hours without food or drink. Man, I have to say, it's a very tough 2 hours sitting there with a lot of uncertainties. We're also concerned about missing the ship because the ship is supposed to depart in another 2 hours. This incident only happened once in a million years, and we were told that they already informed our Princess Cruise ship, so the ship will wait for us. This is good news. So, back to my point at the very beginning of this video, the reason why we feel lucky to book this trip with Princess Cruise Line is that once the excursion is within the insurance or coverage of the cruise line, they will insure your presence before they depart.
And prepare for a little bit of bumps and jolts.
Yeah, we don't care. Everybody, like, you know those little things that you like rope, so it's like, okay, everybody do this really fast. Keep the rotors going.
So, finally, after 2.5 hours of waiting, we started to move again. Another benefit is the money back from the Princess Cruise Line once anything booked within them goes south. For this delaying trip, we actually have the 75% money back as a monetary compensation for our time loss. So overall, I still highly recommended this White Pass Railroad trip. Hopefully, other travelers wouldn't experience the same incident that we encountered here. It's a beautiful trip and probably the best excursion we had during this whole Alaskan cruise. It's because I really love the trains and the glaciers and snows and all, and I enjoy the trip and the landscaping a lot. Hope you like my video today, and I'll see you guys next time.